Hi guys, welcome back, and thank you so much for watching. I have something special for you. We are going to learn how to start an IV. So it's not every day that I get the opportunity to work in a skills lab, but today it worked out. So first what we do is we wash our hands. You can use the alcohol sanitizer or you can wash your hands with soap and water in the sink. Get them all nice and dry. So it's really important to have all of your supplies ready to go before you get started at all, okay? So here's the supplies you need. You need the gloves, appropriate size gloves. I always use a towel. I'll show you what I use it for in a minute. You need an IV start kit. You need the extender tubing. You need a flush, and you need the needle, okay? I work with adults in the med surg, so I always try to use a 20 gauge. If you have to, you may need to use a 22 gauge, which remember, the bigger the size, the bigger the size, the smaller the needle. Okay, sorry, I had to think about this one. So, for instance, like a 20 gauge needle is bigger than a 24 gauge needle, okay? So, you want the needle, and then once your hands are washed, you can put your gloves on. And I personally have to have really tight gloves. So I have to use a small pair of gloves because otherwise I can't do it. I literally cannot. I have to wear my size gloves. Another thing that I want to tell you is your physical comfort is really important. You want to pay attention to how you feel physically on the job all the time. Me personally, I have a very difficult time doing any skills, well, not any, I won't say that, but I have a very difficult time focusing on an IV when I'm standing up. Because when I'm standing up, I feel like my body has more aches and pains when you can't do anything about it. So I personally do everything I can to sit down. There is a rare occasion where I can't. But if you start by sitting down and you learn the skills, maybe when, you know, that once or twice instant happens, then you'll be okay when you are standing up. Okay? So we're going to set up the big things here, and then when we actually start the IV, we're going to get closer. So first thing that I do is I put my towel under my arm. Why? Because if there's a mess, I don't want to freak out about it. Okay? So I get everything set up like this. I put my patient's, arm on the towel like this. Okay? And then I start setting everything up. So the first thing I do is I open my IV start kit. Okay, open everything and kind of just place it certain areas. I put the tourniquet under my patient's arm. Pull out the tape. And how you place the tape on the IV is, it's really... You will find the ways you like to place the tape, but since many of you don't have a certain way, you can do it, or I'll just show you what I do, okay? So I pull out a piece about yay long, tear it, and then I break it in half like that, okay? I just find a place where I can hang it to where it's not going to touch anything. This looks good back here. As long as I can reach it easily, then just have it somewhere where you can reach it. So I pull off probably like 2 or 3 pieces of tape, just like that. Then hopefully your kit comes with a little piece of gauze. I just have that easily accessible. If you're ready for it, you won't need it, right? Hopefully we're going to get it the first time. And then the last thing in the IV start kit is the tegaderm. So you just lay that right there. You always want to have this ready to go. So open it up, because you can't do this while after you get the IV. So you want to have this up, sticky side up, lay it on your towel, somewhere where your patient's not going to accidentally touch it. Okay? Then you want to get your tubing ready. So every hospital you go to, they're all going to have all different kinds of tubing, but it's always the same concept. You just take off the whatever size. Sometimes they have little things on both sides. Just make sure it's all open. You get your flush. I like to kind of get that little air bubble out my flush first, and then prime the tubing. Make sure you see some fluid right there. And then what I do is I take a deep breath, make sure I have everything. Look around, go, okay, we're ready to start. So, then you tie the tourniquet. I don't know how to describe this, but I kind of push my patient's arm down slightly, not hard, but just down. I usually tie the tourniquet on the inside of their arm just so I'm not pulling any hair, because that would hurt. And just kind of pull this up like this, and then tie it around like that. It's got to be pretty tight. I always tell my patients, it's got to be tight, but if it hurts too much, let me know and I will reposition it or readjust it, because it could be on a really awkward angle. Okay, so as you start doing that, you're going to hopefully notice that your patient's veins will start kind of popping up. It's got to stay on for, I would say, a good like 30 seconds maybe to even start to see that. Okay, so then what I do is I take an alcohol prep. Okay. Now, I use alcohol swabs only to actually find the vein, and if the vein is already bulging out, you might not need to do this step. But what I found, especially in darker skin, is that alcohol somehow lets you see the vein a lot better, okay? So just kind of rub the area, and then I just just feel around, and what you're looking for is that like rubbery, but like line feeling and rubbery thing, like a tube, okay? Hopefully you feel that. A lot of times we have older patients with comorbidities and very difficult veins to find, but hopefully you feel that nice rubbery thing, and hopefully it's nice and straight. If it's not nice and straight, you just kind of have to play with it and work with what you've got, but hopefully it's like that, okay? So again, so I just rub around, and like I said, the alcohol swab just does kind of like highlight it, and it makes it more visual, okay? And this particular kit uses a chlorhexidine swab. Some of them have that little thing that you push, and it will open. But so in this case, if I had this chlorhexidine swab, I would pre-open it and have it ready to go. And you just kind of clean the area. You let it air dry, okay? When I'm letting it air dry, get the needle ready. Okay? You want to just, whenever you open a new needle, it's got like this little, it's kind of like stuck in that little place. You just want to like move it around just like that, okay? And then put it back in here, okay? And then now we're going to get close, okay? So then you want to get a really good grip on the area, okay? And then you want to go in with the bevel up, okay? And we're going to get, so now we have everything ready. Our chlorhexidine is dry. We have already selected our vein. This is a nice hunking vein right here, thankfully. So we grab our needle, okay? You always want to make sure that the bevel, you have like the pointiest side needs to go into the skin, and then you'll see the opening. And then right along that, you'll have the plastic piece that comes right off, okay? So then you want to go into the vein. Now one trick that I have learned is that this skin right here with your thumb, if you just pull it back a little bit, the needle will go straight in. Whereas if you don't, the needle may catch on the skin, and the skin kind of slows you down a little bit, okay? So just pull a little bit of resistance back like this, and then just kind of go right in, okay? And hopefully at this point you see some nice blood return, okay? And then once you see the blood return, you just advance a little bit more, and hopefully the blood return doesn't go away. This particular needle is one where you have the opportunity just to push here, which is kind of sweet. It's not always available. Sometimes you have to actually advance this in by yourself and then pull the needle out. But in this case, I would just push this here, and then it would come out at that time. I'm going to put this over here. At this time, what I usually do is point this up like this, put some resistance, take the tourniquet off, and then you take your your already primed tubing. You go like this. Hopefully you can flush really easily and then also withdrawal, and you hopefully will see some nice blood return. That means that you have an excellent IV. Okay? At this point we are going to tape it. Here's the way I tape it. Like I said, taping, it's just however you want to tape it. This is what I like to do. I like to go right along this, right here. Oops. Make a little crisscross. Then I put the tegaderm on. And at this point, I usually put this here and tape this right around here. And maybe here just to keep it sturdy. Okay, then you're all set. So guys, thanks for joining me. I hope this video has been helpful, and anyways, I can't wait to see you again soon. Bye! Hopefully more skills videos in the future. We'll see what we can work out. Alright, love you guys.